Some people can handle their fame. They have no clue how to behave once they're famous. Some celebrities make one teeny tiny mistake that people never forgive, and it destroys their career. In this video, we'll talk about famous people who managed to destroy their careers in just a matter of seconds. So, let's dive straight in, starting with Brian Williams. How many of you remember Brian Williams? He used to be one of the most famous journalists in America. Well, that's before he destroyed his career on live TV. In 2015, Williams was caught spreading made-up stories about his reporting during a war in Iraq. In 2003, people quickly found out that all those details were false, and he just wanted to sound more heroic and dramatic. That's one way to become a hero. The worst part is that his made-up stories had already aired on several news channels before they found out that they were completely false. Williams lied about reporting from a helicopter when it was being shot at, but the truth eventually came out when the soldiers who were on that same helicopter said otherwise. After this incident, people started judging his credibility as a journalist, and as a result, the NBC News anchor was suspended for 6 months without pay and was stripped from his role as nightly news anchor. Obviously, he then apologized for his behavior and blamed his ego for all the lying, but it didn't help, as the audience would always find it hard to trust his news. Up next, Anthony Weiner. Anthony Weiner could have been a political great in the US, but his inappropriate behavior buried his career in the ground. Weiner's career started to take off when he ran for Congress in Brooklyn, New York in the 90s, but everything took a U-turn in 2011 when Anthony was caught up in a big sexting scandal after an image of his, well, Weiner, was leaked and uploaded on Twitter. In response, the politician claimed that his account was hacked and that it wasn't his picture, but just a few days later, he confessed it was actually him in that picture, and he was in a relationship with 6 different women at the same time. Weiner tried to make a comeback in the 2013 mayoral race, but again he faced some fresh sexting allegations, and a few months later, he confessed he had sent some sexually explicit pictures online to a woman. This guy just couldn't control himself, could he? After these scandals, both his political career and marriage were over for good. Following up, Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan has a habit of being under the spotlight, and it has done her no good. She made her way into the acting business by working in a soap opera called Another World when she was noticed by Disney. They'd offer her a role in the remake of The Parent Trap. Lohan suddenly became a teenage sensation, but she couldn't handle her success. In 2007, Lindsay was rushed to the hospital after she had been in an accident. Not only that, she was just recently released from a rehab facility in LA due to undisclosed problems. Those undisclosed problems were out in the open when Lohan was charged with DUI, possession of cocaine, and misdemeanor hit and run. She was arrested in Beverly Hills, and if her career wasn't sabotaged after that incident, it surely was just 2 months later when the actress was arrested on the same charges again. Unbelievable. This incident took place after another unsuccessful period at a rehab facility. Next, let's talk about Eliot Spitzer. Eliot Spitzer's run as the governor of New York State didn't last long, as he was caught in a prostitution scandal. Spitzer was caught on a wiretap seeing a high-priced prostitute in Washington, D.C. It was reported that Spitzer met her at the Mayflower Hotel. He quickly accepted all of this and sent an apology statement to the media. Spitzer also resigned from his role as the governor. That was the end of his political career. Now for Jennifer Grey. Jennifer Grey had it all to become an actress. She was a huge talent with her whole career ahead of her. Her roles in Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Dirty Dancing were highly appreciated. People had high expectations of her, and she blew them all away. You see, Grey was once known for her beautiful nose, but as things started to slow down for her in the 90s, she decided to get a nose job for some reason. We don't know what she was thinking, because this one move single-handedly ruined her acting career. She went on from being one of the prettiest actresses to being almost unrecognizable. The nose job was a complete disaster, and Grey came out of the surgery room looking like a whole new person. The thing is, the actress accepted this as well. She said that this nose job has ruined her career, and now nobody even recognizes her. Let's not forget about Wesley Snipes. The Blade trilogy actor Wesley Snipes used to be a superstar before one day he decided that he wasn't going to pay his taxes. Definitely not a smart decision. Now, normally when you don't pay your taxes, you have to pay that whole sum of money plus some extra and move on. But it wasn't as easy for Wes because his tax offenses were very big. So big that Snipes had to serve time for them. It turned out Snipes deliberately didn't file his taxes for 3 straight years. As a result, he was sent to jail for 3 years. And on top of that, the actor had to pay an additional $17 million in fines and taxes. This tax evasion scandal ruined his career, and his dream run was put to a halt. Well, it wasn't completely over for Wesley Snipes, as he was slowly and steadily starting to make his comeback through movies like True Story and What We Do in the Shadows. But in the end, it's still a life lesson for all the actors: never ever try to evade taxes. Coming up, Billy Bush. Billy Bush probably had a clue that a conversation with Donald Donald Trump in 2005 will come back to haunt him more than a decade later. An audio was leaked in 2016, which showed a conversation between Billy Bush and former U.S. President Donald Trump. In that audio, Trump could be heard making terrible remarks about women and claiming that they let him do whatever he wants. Even though Bush didn't play a huge part in that conversation, he still let Trump continue and was going along with it. That leak completely ended Billy's career. He was cut off from his show on NBC, even though he publicly apologized, saying that he was young and immature at the time because it happened 11 years ago. Let's not forget Tila Tequila. Tila Tequila was one of the earliest social media celebrities. People went crazy after her, and she instantly became one of the most famous personalities. But her journey from being the most famous to the most unpopular was a quick one. MTV saw her online fan base and decided to cash in. They offered her a dating show in 2007 called A Shot at Love with Tila Tequila. Things were going so well for her as she appeared in her first movie called I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry in the same year. But it all came to an abrupt end when some of her online posts supporting Adolf Hitler resurfaced. In her post, she wrote that Hitler wasn't a bad person at all. She knows all the truth about the war and what he did, and people have made him out to be a bad person. Yikes. In an attempt to get her career back, she appeared on Big Brother, but when the producers got to know that she sympathized with Hitler, she was kicked out of that show. Last but not least, Randy Quaid. Randy Quaid is a great comedic actor, no doubt. His roles in Kingpin, Independence Day, and Vegas Vacation were all classics, but it all went wrong for him in 2009 after he was arrested. You see, Quaid and his wife booked a hotel for themselves, lived there, had a great time, and then decided not to pay for it. It was $10,000. That's a big amount of money. Both of them were arrested for not paying the bill. After this, the couple was arrested again, this time for squatting on a property they didn't own. When the legal heat got too hot to handle in the US, they decided to pack up and move to Canada. But things got even worse there. A lot of people thought that the duo moved to Canada in order to run away from the law, but Randy tried to put down those rumors by claiming they were running away from star whackers. Now, if you don't know what that means, apparently they're a secret organization on a mission to defame celebrities by making fake stories and scandals about them. Obviously, no one bought this story, and Randy and his wife were arrested again in Canada. That's a wrap for this video. Do you know any other famous person like this? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.